Lusting as wrote history makes his misinterprets fact, rather about they belie every and at. Lusting after written history makes us misinterpret facts, rather than seeing them as they are. We all know the dangers of confirmation bias, where we selectively seek out information that confirms our pre-existing views and ignore anything that contradicts them. But there's another, perhaps more insidious phenomenon at play, the nostalgia for a particular narrative about the past. When we're fascinated by a particular story or way of looking at history, we often lose sight of the fact that it's just one of many possible interpretations. We forget that history is a complex tapestry, woven from threads of evidence, interpretation, and context. Each thread is fragile and can easily be pulled in a different direction by a change in paradigm or new evidence. We see this phenomenon in the way we react to changes in the historical record. When a new artifact or document is discovered, we might reinterpret our entire understanding of a period or event, but too often we become attached to the narrative that's been passed down to us, and we resist new information that challenges it. This can lead to what I call narrative fixation, where we become so enamored with a particular story that we forget to question its underlying assumptions. This is particularly true when it comes to issues of politics and power. We tend to romanticize or demonize historical figures rather than seeing them as complex, multifaceted people. We remember George Washington as the father of the nation, without acknowledging his ownership of slaves. We remember Abraham Lincoln as the great emancipator, without recognizing his role in the Dred Scott decision. By fixating on these narratives, we miss the nuances of history. We fail to see the ways in which individuals and groups interacted, the ways in which systems and institutions evolved over time. We are left with a rigid, one-dimensional view of the past rather than a rich and dynamic understanding. And it's not just individuals who suffer from this myopia. Entire disciplines, like history and sociology, can become mired in their own narratives, resistant to new ideas or perspectives. This can lead to a kind of intellectual stagnation, where scholars become more interested in defending their narrative than exploring the complex web of evidence. So what's the solution? How can we resist the temptation to misread history through our own nostalgia for a particular narrative? The answer lies in embracing the complexity of the past, in embracing uncertainty and ambiguity. It means being willing to question our own assumptions, to engage with new evidence and perspectives, and to see the many nuances and shades of gray in history.